speaking about your brother, such a legendary. That's to even do something with him is amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he's put on a lot of people in the game.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's you know
I love it.
a
I love
proud
it.
thing to be proud of.
Yeah.
What's today now that y'all have been in the game for almost 25, 30 years? Today, as we see hip hop for us guys that's in their 40s, what do you think of today's hip hop? Where do you think the game is at now?
Well, I don't really.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. I don't want to go in too much and say what I really would like to say, but I tell you, I'm all about the message with it, and I don't think the message in most of the music that's out is good.
I wish it would go back to the era where where we was kind of like just talking about like the way the it was like competitive, but we're staying on wax, and it's just like lyrical beef, like lyrical warfare.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And the get money rap is cool, right, Twin? But I just feel like I just wish the rhymes were a little bit better. You know, and the music was a little bit more stronger. It just sounds like a lot of the music you hear is just lazy.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like the state of hip hop is boring.
Yeah.
Because everybody's rapping about the same stuff. Everybody got money, cars, the jewels, the women. It's the same nonsense that you could rap about it, but it's like the artists, they're not even rapping about it in a way would make me want to get it, to go out and get the
to inspire us to want to, it just sounds like things are lazy. Like,
there's no skills. Add skills, man. We need more skills in hip hop today, man.
I totally agree.
We need more skills.
I agree with what you said too. It's what we write. You know what I'm saying? Let's write. Let's put down something that benefits the.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
there you go.
Like, why are we writing garbage? You know what I'm saying? And, and if it's gonna be garbage, because I guess it always was a little bit garbage, but you always had to clean up. You know what I'm saying? You know, So it was a balance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think we're losing the balance now.
Yeah, because mostly everything moves through the engine of music. Mostly the world is inspired by music. Some kind of rap, this, that, it's the music. So to me,
it's really no consistency. See, we don't have a like an outside platform like that, because if people was hearing us like consistently, they would know you could definitely be inspired by us, because we don't change our rap style for anybody. And we're not going to change our rap style for anybody, because for one, we don't care what people think about our music. We'll drop a dope song. If people don't like it, good. You know what I'm saying?
We're inspired off that to make another song that people won't like.
We're going to keep making songs that people don't like.
Yeah, we make the song of it. We make the song. We approve of it. And repeat.
Exactly.
Repeat the process.
You know what I'm saying? But definitely, because being lyrical is fun.
Yeah.
Because when you're lyrical, you don't even know what the artist is going to say next.
Yeah. And how you put the words together. That's an amazing thing.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah. I love to hear it. I love wordplay. I come from
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
I come from that.
Yeah, you let us hear a couple of joints too. You let us hear a couple of joints too. That was fire.
You got some joints with Keith Murray. That's dope as shit. Everybody can't say that they have a song with him. So shout
to me, that's a taste of '90s fire right there. Because
Keith Murray.
Because those guys that you work with, those two guys, they're from the '90s.
Yeah, the most beautifulest thing, man.
Yeah.
So that's legendary right there.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to work with y'all.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
That's looking forward to that major, man.
Absolutely. That's definitely in the works.
Forward.
Absolutely.
All everybody got to do is just, we pick the raw beat, and just write the fire and get busy.
Yep. And there's no age to rapping. There ain't no age to rapping.
Yeah.
You can rap whatever. You can stop at whatever age you want. You can rap 100 years old, 200. If God grants you 200 years, you can rap.
Yeah. I always tell people, upcoming or people who want to be rappers, don't let society dictate what age that you want to be or that you should be. When it comes to this thing called rapping and music, nobody should be able to dictate when how old that you should get, or what age you can't rap at 40 or 50. None of that exists here.
Rap to you 90, 80. If you're around and you still keeping yourself healthy and you look good and you can still rap, you can out rap these young whippersnappers.
Yeah,
you know
shouts to Melba Moore. She's in the upper ages. She just put out a new album. And it's
Shout
great
outs to
too.
her.
Yes, Melba Moore. She's in the Gloria Gaynor. She's in the upper ages. She just put out a new music. So the age, I say that to say, age doesn't stop it.
No doubt.
You know?
I mean, I think actually each age that we go into, if we're expressing our perspective from that stage, it's actually important.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's important to see, all right, this is how Kane sounded in '88.
Right.
This is how Kane sound in 2025.
True. Right. That's true too.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good example.
You know what I'm saying? To follow the
a good
progression
example.
and to be able to see, okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
growth is always dope.
It's growth.
Growth and elevation is always dope.
Exactly. I think that's very important. And if we don't, like I heard someone say, like the younger generation need the older generation to tell them how to get old.
That's
true.
That's a fact.
You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
Right.
That's
And the
you
thing
know what I'm
is,
saying?
with
That's
the
a
younger
fact.
generation,
They
don't want to listen though.
that's the problem. The younger generation has to want to listen.
Yeah,
though.
they
It's
wanna-
like they're real hard at listening. They don't want to listen to what's going to help them now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if you actually want to get them to listen, once again, it's to the music. It got to be in a way to where it can grasp, the youth's attention.
Right.
It can catch their attention, and maybe they can start changing the way that they're going about things and doing things.
Make it fun for them.
Right,
That's
right.
one way to catch their attention. Kids like to be excited.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they do.
So-
Right.
But
to me, it's just always vital when you listen to the music, when the kids listen to the music and it has a bad message, and
right.
it has a message that's not gonna make them grow up in the right direction.
Right.
That's what's the vital thing about it. That's why I say, like, rappers that have influence, it's never cool when they promote the wrong thing. I don't want to sound like a nerd or nothing, but
but that's a fact.
Kids listen to the
real, bro.
Yeah, kids listen to the music so much. They listen to the music more than they listen to their own moms and dads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now check this. I'm gonna, elaborate to that point. This just happened yesterday. I'm driving in the car with my 10-year-old. So he says, "Dad, I have a new favorite rapper." I said, "What's this rapper name?" You know what I'm saying? He said, forgive me, it starts with a K, CASHAPP something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then everybody will know who he is when I finish, you know? So I'm like, never heard of this guy. Who's this guy? He said, "I want to play the video for you." So he put on the video, and it's a Chinese kid, and he's in Brooklyn.
Wow.
And he's around all of these guys that look like they're gangsters and, hustlers and drug dealers. And he's doing the remake, basically, of Tekashi 9.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's
So,
a tough one right there.
He's in the video, and my son is like, "This is
I
my
already get
favorite
it.
rapper." He's 10. So I said,
It's like, oh
"What
my
do you
gosh.
like about this?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He said, "It's hot, it's good." I said, "You ever heard of Tekashi 9? He said, "Yeah." He said, "I know Tekashi 9, the Rainbow Kid." I said, "This is a remake of that." He said, "No, Dad." I said, "It is." He said, "No, Dad." I said, "Tell me this. What is he talking about?"
Right.
That gets you so interested.
Right. That makes
What
you so
is he
interesting.
talking about?
Right.
He don't know. He's just looking at me. I said,
You see?
Right.
I said, "All right. You know what smoking on ops mean?"
Right.
See, you giving
Right.
it to
Do
him
you
straight raw
even
there. I
know
love
what
it.
that means, smoking on ops? Do you know what he mean when he say that he, coming by shooting and doing all of this? He said, "Dad, you don't like him, you know what I'm saying, because, he's Chinese?" I said, "No, it has nothing to do with that."
Yeah.
I said, "Dad, first of all, like truth. And I like reality."
That's right.
I said, "The truth is, he's nowhere in Brooklyn on no Brooklyn block, busting no corner or doing anything that he's saying in this rhyme.
Right.
But you know what? those guys standing behind him are. That's their real reality.
Right.
His real reality, his parents probably own a Chinese store somewhere in Brooklyn, and he know those guys from the neighborhood from coming in.
Yeah, they just give him a little money to fund the video and
stuff. A little
stuff.
kid that grew up with them and might have went to school with them and stuff like that. But the reality is his reality is not theirs.
Right.
So him rapping in their reality is false.
Right.
Now the major problem is that now my 10-year-old son is telling me that this is his favorite rapper.
Right. See?
And I'm asking you, what is he talking about? And you don't know. I said, but you know what? By the time you figure out what he's talking about, it'll be too late. It'll be in your spirit.
Right. That's deep.
And that's what I have a problem with.
Right. See?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I said, I understand what you like about him. It's the sound.
Right.
They addicted to the sound.
Yeah.
I said, what is it you like? He couldn't describe.
You had to tell him for him.
He can't even, it's the energy, right? It's the thing, it's the, you know. I said, that's how you get pulled in.
Right. The frequency.
Exactly. The frequency.
Yeah.
You don't even know what he's saying, but by the time you figure out those words, you locked in because you done repeated it so many times.
There you go.
Rolling the dude, smoking on the op, do this, none on block, and then So it was the same thing with me with NWA.
Right.
I wasn't a nigga for life.
Right.
I didn't have no problems with the police.
Right.
I was a good kid. Went to private school.
Right.
When I heard NWA, I was in front of the mirror. You know,
made you right.
You know what I'm saying?
It made
the
you
cops
want to
trying to kill me.
Right. Especially coming up at the young age.
I see what you're saying.
The cops trying to kill me. I'm a nigga.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
And especially coming up at the young age.
I see exactly what you're saying.
Who's gonna stop you at that age? You can't. They can't even talk sense into you at that age.
Why do they call myself a nigga? You ask me.
Right.
Because the police always want to harass me.
Right.
I'm 12.